I think the last time I had a class was, if I'm right, maybe 7th of July. I think so. Wow. I think after that time I traveled. I had a week. No, no, I was around, but I traveled for a week. Then I came in the last weekend and work has been very working. So I'm back. Hello, everybody. How we doing? And how has the practices been? In the last class, I know we treated something about buying something in the market, and we talked about payments and all that. Uh, Pingwo, Ijin, Doshaoqian, and I know we talked about all this. We also did the new words, the mai, shuiguo as fruit. I don't know if we talked deep on this, but I think we did peruse through them in the last class, mentioning them one after the other, talking about Chinese money. Yeah, I remember, I recall we did this. And we also talked about all these particle characters that really don't mean anything but gives qualifier to things. Um, this was Lianga, Lianga Mientia, Lianga Manto. Sorry, this Manto. You can say I have to be looking at the character to be sure. Because we'll get to the point where there will be no more pinyin and you have to know the character. Lianga Manto, Lianga Ren, Liangguo, Lianga Manto, Arga Manto. The last time, I think there was a time I explained where I said two, one, two, three. In Chinese is ER. R means two. But two also, they use the word Liang. It's like Liang means something like a pair. It's something like a pair, but it's not really pair. They actually have another character for pair. I think Shuan. But you can use Liang or R. But there are some places you use Liang that you cannot use R. And there's some places you use R that you cannot use Liang. So it's your ability to know how you can work with those things really matter. For example, if you say Yao Jiga Pingo, I can say Arga. I need to. I can use R. I can also say Lianga. It's fine. Those two can work in those uh, uh, in those contexts. But there are some places where it just sounds better to use Liang instead of R. So it's you can use both. Not that you can't use it, but it's the way it joins other characters to form a word will determine if it is suitable or not. So, talked about phonetics, word stress, and pronunciation and tone. I still told you that's still the backdrop of the Chinese language. Once you know the pronunciation, you know the pinyin, you know the characters, you know the tones, you're good to go. And there is nothing we can do than learning new words, new words, new words. It can open some doors for you, really. I don't want to blow anything yet, but let's see what happens in the coming months. And then maybe I'll find time to tell the story. Or maybe when I'm even in that place, I'm going to be doing my videos from there and having my class around that time. And maybe the video I promised, this is where I'm going to do it now because the people wouldn't matter. There are no people I'm used to. So it's going to be a real life situation. And I probably will get somebody to film me while I'm at that. And then when I come back in my class, I'll upload that and then we'll be able to see a real life situation where I'm just going to be acting like I should act and somebody filming and we just see how it happens and what learning this language is can really do. But like I said, it requires practice. Sometimes I get to even forget some characters, and it means I myself need to keep practicing, which is one of the reasons why I decided to go back, dig my books, and try to practice and give back. Because in the course of doing this, it's like a refresher. It also helps me to stay on point and to know what to do. So all these are just different things we can touch as it is. Reading the textbook yourself will help you build on this. I just teach you the basics that can help you read. If you know all this right now, like if you look at this one is my pinguo, my mantle, my jiaozi, my mi fan, sorry, my baozi. Why do I know this? Because I already know these new characters. And all these characters in our study, we have done them. So if you're practicing the new characters or the new words, if you see these characters, you'll be able to know them. There is nothing new here. All these ones were practiced from lesson 1 up to lesson 8. There's no new word here that it was not taught. So the need to practice those new words, because these are like almost all the characters in Chinese. By the time you finish this course, you should be able to converse. You should be able to buy things if you've been practicing. 多少钱？多少斤？多少人？多少学生？多少老师？ They are words that we have studied. All these words I'm saying, they are not new. They are words that if you join the class or you've been following me since lesson 1, even to my introduction, but let's say lesson 1 when I started using the book, you would be able to know all these words and all that. So, I my ma, I yao ma, I chu ma, I chu ma, I he ma, I my, I yao, I chew, I chi, I her. Now I'm going to talk about this one. I just feel like now studying more about the characters and not just the pinyin and the conversation. As the class goes, we'll be doing that. The reason for this is this my is to buy. Pinguo, buy apple, buy man, mientiao. Sorry, manto. Manto is when we're talking about my car and Mali in the restaurant. I think that was lesson 7 or 6, if I'm sure. Then Jiaozi, that was where Jiaozi was also mentioned. That was where Mi Fan was mentioned, and that was where Baozi was mentioned. All these are different type of dumpling apart from the Mi Fan. Mi Fan is rice, like we say, steamed rice. You know, Duo Shao is how much. How much money is Duo Shao Qian? How much kilo is Duo Shao Jin? How much people, which you could say how many people. In this context, this how much has turned to how many. It changes. How many grams. With money is how much. But the same character has changed context now to be how many grams, how many people, how many students, how many teachers. I, my ma is a question. Are you still buying something else? That is I. That I there is, are you still buying something else? Because you remember I said the ma at the end, you can see here they said I my, I yao, I this. These two are totally different. Why? The ma at the end of that I my changes it to a question. But when you say it like this, it's more like a sentence that may be a response. For example, if I say, I, my ma, are you buying something else? If I say, yes, I'm buying something else, that is I, my. If I say, Aya or ma, do you want something else? If I say, I want something else, this is Aya. I chew ma, are you going elsewhere? I chew, I'm going elsewhere. I chew ma, do you need more to eat? Do you want to eat more? Yes, I need more to eat. Do you want to drink more? Yes, I'm drinking more. So you can see the difference. A small character or a small word at the back of something, or a wrong tone sign, or a wrong tone in pronunciation can change what you're trying to say. We can't say this enough. That's why it's important for you to keep practicing, practicing, practicing. We'll go to lesson 9 soon, but I just thought to repeat this because we're getting towards the end of the first textbook. And in this textbook, we have the English, we have the characters, we have the pinyin, and there are new words. For every lesson, there are new words. Let's practice the new words. No matter what happens, just practice the new words. It helps you know more characters and it makes you more familiar with characters and you know how to do it. Yes, I know there are translators and there are interpreters and there are AI, whatever, but I tell you, sometimes in the middle of something, you might not have the strength to start following AI as the case may be, except in your private time. So I just thought to say that now we are in this complete sentence. If I was a teacher in class and I give this to my student based on what I've been discussing, ni my shama, what are you buying? You will have to write it again. War my whatever. What are you buying? I am buying apple. You have to write war my pingo and you'll be able to put the tones. You're able to put the tones the way they are supposed to be. Ni my dosha. How many are you buying? my jiga, my iga, my lianga. You have to be able to, you're writing pinyin, not characters now. You have to repeat with writing the right pinyin and the right tone. So it means I will have to know my, liang, liang. So in your mind, you be like, what tone is liang? Is it the third tone? Is it the second tone? My lianga. What tone is the ga? The ga is usually a silent tone. You have to know all those and then you put in the tone, because in this practice, it is trying to show you uh, how to write pinyin with the right tone. I mean, with the right mark, to see if you know the pronunciation. So if you know the pronunciation, you'll be able to put the right mark. Because pinyin is pretty easy, but the mark, the tone on it, the tone mark on it determines if you know the right pronunciation. And this is just what we've been doing. Shangjiao, Sha. I can say Xiangjiao. That's a different thing I'm saying. But if I say this is just Xiangjiao because it's the first one, Xiangjiao. So you know Xiangjiao, banana. Puta. You can see the way I pronounce the puta. The pu is stretched because there is a tone. The tau is short because the tau doesn't have the tone. So puta. Tau doesn't have the tone. It's a neutral word. So pu, I know it's going up. Shigua, 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 shigua. It's straight, not shigua or shigua. No, it's shigua. So it's simple. It's a straight tone. Then you have the li, which is pear. You have the tau. This one is different from this tau. This is tau. It's different from this tau. You can even see the characters are different. This is peach, and this one is a tau mei, strawberry. Tau mei, tau mei, tau mei. So that's it. So if you know how to pronounce this thing, you'll know the right sign to put on it. Now somebody will say, this is C. Why are you saying tau? We already told you. C in Chinese is like that's the pronunciation of C. Why T is like T, T, T. So it's like Sao Mei, Sao Mei. Just wanted to bring that in. And then we learn how to write individual characters. And this shows us how to learn the individual characters. So for lesson 9, I'll just give us a brief intro for lesson 9. We're talking about 我换人民币. 我换人民币. In this class, we're going to be talking about if you are going to the bank and you have foreign, let's say you have hard currency and you want to change it to naira, you want to change it to Chinese yuan and all that. So basically, this is changing to Chinese yuan. That's what the topic is about. I'm changing my money to Chinese yuan, 我换人民币. So you have Mali and of course Michael. So Mali and Michael. So they are both foreigners, I want to believe, because the Mali and the Michael are Chinese interpretation of Mike and Mary. So I believe they are both foreigners from different countries, and so they're foreign students in China. So Mali is saying, 下午我去图书馆. 图书馆 is a library. 我去图书馆. 你去不去? We've done this before. You see, it can't get more different than this in normal communication with students or even when you go anywhere. It's either you want to know if somebody will go with you, or you want to know if somebody wants something, or you want to know where somebody is going, or you want to get something. It's our daily communication. That's how it goes. So what he's saying is that in the afternoon, I'm going to the library. Are you going or not? And then Michael will say, 我不去. I'm not going to the library. 我不去. 我去银行换钱. I'm not going to the library. I'm going to the bank to change money. And so they go to the bank, or Michael goes to the bank. And now this is Michael with the cashier at the bank, because this one is here. Yin Ye Yuan, that is the cashier at the bank. Yin mean bank. Yin Hang. If you check the Yin Hang, you see that no, not this, not Yin, this Yang. So the Yang there is just cashier. Basically, that's cashier. Yin Ye Yuan, that's cashier at the bank. So Michael is like Xiaojie. Xiaojie is like saying Miss. Xiaojie 我换钱. Miss, I want to change money. And the cashier is replying 您换什么钱? If you notice the ni that was used there, you see that it is a respectful ni, which is used for an elderly person. So the miss must have seen Michael Not necessarily because she feels she's younger than Michael, but Michael is a foreigner. And in order to respect him or show some level of respect because of that foreign, call it honor, call it respect or anything, she decides to use the name. So that name can be used for an elderly person. It can be used for somebody worthy of honor. So that has to be noted. 你换什么钱? America is saying, 我换人民币. And the cashier is like, what is it? What money are you changing? Because it could be that you want to change dollar to naira, to Chinese yuan, or you want to change Chinese yuan uh, to dollar, something like that. So Michael is saying that I want Chinese yuan. So he probably has dollars and he probably wants to change them to renminbi. So he said, well, Juan renminbi. And the person said, Juan Doshao, how much are you changing? How much are you exchanging? You know, and it's like Arbai renminbi. Arbai Mei yuan. Arbai Mei. So it's when you use Juan is used for the money you want to collect, meaning you have a different money, so you're changing to another. That's why I say, well, Juan renminbi, meaning he wants to change to Chinese yuan. He wants to change it to Chinese. He wants to change whatever money he has to Chinese yuan. It's not like he's changing Chinese yuan to foreign money. So you must know when you use the word Juan and you're responding, your response should be the money you want to buy, not the money you want to sell. I hope you understand that because if I have $100, I'm going to buy naira. If I have 1 million, I'm going to buy dollar. So dollar, it means I'm selling. I am selling my naira to buy dollar. So when I go to the person I'm buying, will be asking me, "What are you buying?" So if I say I'm buying dollar, I will have to use 我换 yuan. If I'm buying naira, I will have to say 我换 nila. Naila is what they call naira. Naila. So Michael is like, okay, so how much are you changing? How much are you changing? So he said, I'm changing $200. So it means I'm going to change $200 so that I can buy renminbi. So he said, okay, $200. That's Arba. You can see in this case, I can't say Liambai. Know that it's not proper to use Liambai, but this is an official setting. So that Liam may not work. It's better you say Arbai. Arbai is the right word, right official. Somebody can say Liambai and an average Chinese will understand what you're trying to say 200. So, but R is better because this has to do with counting and its official counting, numbering and its official numbering, not market purchases. So R, that's what I was trying to explain. You can use R, you can use Liam, but there are some places that some are most appropriate. It's like in English, they say put the most appropriate words. Some other words you can put when you're doing your normal conversation, but if you're writing something official, there's something that is most appropriate, and that's what you'll be marked for. So this, when you're in the bank or an official setting, or you're talking about money, you can't use Liang. You have to use R when you're talking of two, anything two, whether 2 million or two whatever. So the response is like Qing Dang He Huar, which means please wait a moment. Xian Shan means Mr. Gaining Qian. So like when the cashier gets your money, please wait, and she does the work. That's why the dot is there. She does the work, and when she's done, she says, "Excuse me, sir, please have your money." So in bank, usually in China, after they do this, it's like a chin down, wait. Then later she responds, Shen Shan gain chain. After she gives you the money, she asks you to count, which is Chin Shu Shu. Chin Shu Shu. Which is please count. So that you don't go and come back and say, it's not complete. And Micah responds, do it law. Coming again to the law. If he says do it means correct. Do it means correct. But why is the law there? It's to emphasize the correctness of what I've just done and to end the sentence appropriately. So it might not really mean anything. If you say what's the meaning of law, I can't tell you what law means in terms of meaning. But when you add it to a sentence, I know what it means when it joins the sentence. It gives the sentence more body, makes the sentence lays emphasis on the sentence that was made. So after Michael has counted, he said, "Due la, share," and of course, the cashier said, "Bukachi," and we've said before, Bukachi means you don't need to be too polite. I'm doing my job, you know. It's just like when we say, "Oh, never mind, thanks but no thanks," and stuff like that. So that's just the conversation of I want to change money. Now, if you're going to do business in China, you're going to need this conversation because you're going to either go to the bank or black market. Wherever you go to, you're definitely going to change money. And when you get there, you have to say, Chinja, excuse me, or you call the man Shensha, or you call the person Xiaojie or Huan Qian. It's not rocket science. This is what you say. And the person will say, Ni Huan Do Xiaoqian. And you say, or Huan Renminbi or Nikon and Shamachian, if they see you as a foreigner anyway, they know you have dollar and you want to. It's like when I went to China last year, they expected that I would have dollar to change to Chinese yuan, but no, because I was exiting the country, I wasn't planning to change Chinese yuan. And I guess the people are already used to it. Once you do that at the airport, they know you're going back to your country. So, of course, you don't need a Chinese yuan, you need the dollar. So, or if you want it in pounds or whatever money you wanted. So, that was that about that. Compared to if you did it in the market. If you're in the market, they know you need Chinese money. If you're changing to dollar in the market, they are surprised. I use the word surprise because you're in the market, so they think you want to buy things, and you can't buy things per se with dollar. You need to buy things with Chinese renminbi. So it depends on the place. But whatever it is, they will ask you, "Nihon Shamachen, what money are you changing?" Or sometimes some of them just assume and they go straight to it. How much are you changing? And then you tell them from there, they'll know what money you're changing and how much you're changing. So, and then you tell them if it's Meiyue, if it's Yingbang. Yingbang, for example, is pound or B. I think it's or B means euro because Europe they use orgo if I'm right for Europe because there are different countries. Europe is like a continent of a kind, so it's not like different countries. But when they say yin bang is pounds. If I'm right, euro should be RB. So you write whatever you want to write, and that's what it is. Of course, they change it, and that's the conversation. So we've done this conversation, and I hope we understand how it goes. It just tells you the basic communication you would need at every different point in the Chinese community. We started from just hellos, which is from chapter one, had to do with the greetings, the normal greetings, hellos. Expecting that you're a student, what would you do when you're in class? Teacher's communication, your communication with teacher. Then you have to go buy food stuff. That's the market where you talk about chain, don't shout, I want to buy this. You need to buy food as well. You need to make friends. And now, if you're a foreigner in a different country, you need to change money. So every course and every lesson tells us what needs to be done. Are there new words? Yes, there are new words. But I would want you to digest this one in the next class, which will be anytime next week, because I think I'm back a bit less travels for now. I'll be talking about the new class and maybe revise this again because we are getting to more words, lengthier lessons. So we need to understand. It's not what we rush. And like I said, I'm still going to say, please let us do well to practice, practice, practice. I can't say that enough. Let's practice because it is in practicing the new words that we're able to memorize the characters, we're able to know what we're supposed to say. I'm still learning, and but I thank God that I can do well to communicate. But can I be a business interpreter? I'm working on that because I've gotten some projects on my hand with that where I interpret and I do some of those things once in a while. And it's beneficial, even within that once in a while, what you get it can take you far for a while, but it's okay. We're still learning and building. I'm even trying to learn French now. I'm trying to see how I can learn other languages like French. I don't know if my brain can take it, but that's my that's what I'm looking out to because we're in Africa, right? And in West Africa, we have in between, say, Nigeria and Ghana, we have two French-speaking countries, and then we have two French-speaking countries, and then we have what do they call it? We have on our either side and probably even above there, okay, we have the Arabic speaking countries and then we have the French speaking countries. So it's pretty a lot of things, a lot of things, a lot of things really. So it's good to just practice. In language is beautiful and language is life. So let's try to do our utmost best, practice, 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 and make the most of this language. You just never know when you can save a soul with it or make good business out of it. Hopefully, in the next class, we would continue with the new words and peruse through this one more time. Do enjoy your weekend. It's Auntie P saying goodbye. Bye.